We got a great lesson for you. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're going live right now. And I think we got things going smoothly. Right there we go. Okay. I always test it out. I want to make sure everybody can jump into the lesson when it starts. But yes, we're live. Like I said, my name is Shelly. We got a great lesson today. If you look at the title of today's lesson, it says 5 Band 8 English collocations. Band 8, this is coming from the IELTS examination. This is one of these English proficiency tests. And if you've been watching my channel recently, I've been doing quite a few of these band type vocabulary words. I've done band 4, I've done band 5, and I've done band 6 as well. Now, it's really important that we do know these vocabulary words. Today, we're going to jump right up to band 8. Now, if you're curious, there are only like up to 9 bands. So this is just below the highest level, which means if you know these, if you're fluent, if you're using these, then you're definitely on your way to being a fluent English speaker, which is great. So what we will do, today is we'll go over each band 8 collocation vocabulary words. I'll give you an example sentence. We'll talk about it a little bit. And then after that, we will do a quiz. We'll do a fill in the blank quiz. There will be 10 sentences. And we're only learning 5 of these collocations. So you'll have to repeat some of them. But let's get started. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to put the lesson onto the screen like I usually do here. If you notice here, the title of this lesson says idioms, slang, collocations. We're looking at the collocations today. Sometimes I do lessons where we're just doing slang and idioms, but today it's collocations. So let's look at those collocations right now. Just organize my screen here. And we're going to go with this one first. This one here says, bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. Right now, bite the bullet. I believe we have done this before once. So if some of you have either watched this, one of my live lessons, maybe you joined live, maybe you watched on the replay. We've done this one before. So if you've watched that lesson, then you should know what this means. If not, what I'll do is I'm going to put an example sentence on the screen, read the example sentence, and then from there, you should get an idea of what this means. So if we look at the sentence, it says, she didn't want to move, but she decided to bite the bullet and accept the job offer. Right? She didn't want to move, but she decided to bite the bullet and accept the job offer. So here we must figure out, what does bite the bullet mean? What does it mean? So if we just read this sentence again, it says she didn't want to move, but she decided to bite the bullet. So moving means you're moving house. So maybe you're living in your current house, you're going to move to another house. Maybe you're living in one city, you're going to move to a different city. So she didn't want to move, but she decided to bite the bullet and accept the job offer. So maybe she got a job offer. That means she or he must move to a different city. That is what's included in that job offer. And she didn't want to move, but she bit the bullet and she accepted the job offer. That means basically what this means is that you're facing an unpleasant or difficult situation and you face it with courage. All right, so you're doing something that you don't want to do, but you do it because you're brave. All right, so let's put that onto the screen. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So as I said here, to bite the bullet means you're facing a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage. You're facing a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage, and the example sentence is below. Hello, Fighting Boys. Yes, we did have this one in a previous live. Yes, I did mention that. This one is a repeat. But this was in the list of the Band 8. So I'm glad you remembered. That's amazing. That means you're right on the ball. How are you, by the way, Fighting Boys? Hope everything is going well. Okay, so the next one here, cut corners. Cut corners. Now, cut corners, a great example sentence for that is right here. It's good to hear, Fighting Boys. I'm glad you're doing well. So I've got a example sentence. The builders cut corners, and now the house has structural issues. The builders cut corners, and now the house has structural issues. All right, so what can you explain a little bit more, Fighting Boys? So don't rush in a simple way. Can you explain that a little bit more? All right, yeah, that second example, the second definition you've given is perfect. Yeah, so they didn't go through some basic process that's vital, that's important, and it's for saving money. That's exactly right. So as Fighting Boys has just said, when you cut corners, you're going through some simple ways, the easiest way, but you're doing it because you're trying to save money. And also when you do it, the quality becomes less, right? So cutting corners is a negative expression. It's a negative collocation. It means that you're doing something in an easy way, in a cheap way, in a very fast way. But as it says here, you are compromising quality. You're compromising quality. And so many companies have done this. You know, we see it over and over again, you know, horrific accidents, you know, bridge accidents, building accidents, because, you know, certain companies will cut corners, you know, they want to save money. But a lot of times, just like the sentence says, the house has structural issues. There was a case here in Japan, I think probably, I want to say like 5 to 7 years ago, where a building company, they would make these large apartment buildings, and they cut corners. They cut corners a lot. The apartments, a lot of them were not structurally sound, and there was a big accident. And yeah, it caused a huge issue here because they made so many in the city. So cut corners, Yeah, even in Japan. Yeah, everywhere. I mean, that's every, every company, not every company, every shady company is always trying to find ways to save money. And unfortunately, a lot of them cut corners. And in the worst case scenario is we have a lot of injuries or possibly deaths as well. So cut corners, definitely a negative word. The one before bite the bullet, I would actually say bite the bullet is more positive because you're going to do something that you really don't want to do. So you're having the courage to do something. So let's look at the next one, which is drop the ball. Drop the ball. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to give you an example sentence. He really dropped the ball when he forgot to submit the proposal on time. He really dropped the ball when he forgot to submit the proposal on time. A faux pas. Very good use of French. Make sure if you're going to, the faux pas, that PA has an S on it as well. The FAUX is great. Pa is PAS. That is my French Canadian side coming out. So faux pas is a little different. Faux pas is kind of like an innocent mistake. Drop the ball also has mistake built into it. So he really dropped the ball when he forgot to submit the proposal. So there is a mistake happening. But it's also, the mistake is happening. And when we use drop the ball is we expect that person to do something well. We have higher expectations. And then when they make a mistake, that's when we say, oh, you really dropped the ball. I expected you to do it well. I expected you not to make a mistake, but then you made a mistake. So then I would say you dropped the ball. If it's just a regular mistake and I have no expectations, then I wouldn't use this. I wouldn't say you dropped the ball. But if I expected you to do something and then you made a mistake, then I would say you dropped the ball. Does that make sense? I'll put that definition right up here. To make a mistake or fail to meet expectations. Nice. Okay, let's look at number 4. Throw in the towel. Throw in the towel. So some of these, a couple of these vocabulary words, drop the ball is coming from sports. Throw in the towel is coming from sports, is coming from boxing. Now, I guess mixed MMA, mixed martial arts. And let's look at the example sentence here. After trying for months to fix the project, they finally threw in the towel. After trying for months to fix the project, they finally threw in the towel. Yeah, in a boxing ring, it always happens, especially if one of the boxers is not doing well. Maybe they're being overwhelmed. Yeah, give up. Now, it actually has 2 meanings. One is to give up. But we can also say you're going to admit defeat. you're going to admit that you lose. So you admit defeat. That's why you throw in the towel. Sometimes it's not really giving up. It's more like, I understand that I can't win. So there is a small kind of nuance there that makes it a little different. So give up is definitely one. Give up is definitely one meaning, but the other meaning would mean that you're admitting kind of defeat. You understand that you're not going to win. All right, and the last one here is turn a blind eye. Turn a blind eye. I like this one. It's a great one. We use this all the time. I'm going to put an example sentence here. It says the manager turned a blind eye to the employees who were coming in late. The manager turned a blind eye to the employees who were coming in late. So five words you've got, ignore it. Yes. Okay. Now it's not, there is a little bit more than just ignore. Ignore is completely correct. It's completely correct, but we need to add a little bit more information. And the more information I'm going to put here is you're ignoring something bad. You're ignoring something wrong. You know, you're intentionally ignoring it, but it's something that's bad. So if it's something good, you're not going to say turn a blind eye. And perfectly, Fadibers, you just intentionally. Yeah, excellent. So, if we look at that example sentence, it says the manager turned a blind eye to the employees who were coming in late. So that's a bad thing. All the employees are coming to work late. It's not a good thing. This manager intentionally, on purpose, ignored it. Didn't say anything to them. So if you ignore something on purpose, something that's bad, that means we say you turn a blind eye. So another example, I live in Japan. It's quite interesting. There's a lot of new laws coming up in Japan. It seems like every few months they'll come out with something new in Japan. And I would say maybe the beginning of this year, I believe, they introduced a new bicycle helmet law in Japan, meaning you have to wear a helmet. You have to wear a bicycle helmet. But most of the police here just turn a blind eye to it. Most of the police here just turn a blind eye to it. So that means they're just intentionally ignoring it. When I see people riding, because everyone rides bicycles here, I would say the majority, I would say 70% of the people, especially adults, do not wear helmets. All right, so those are the five. These are all band 8. These are all band 8. Bite the bullet, which we've done before in a previous live lesson, which basically means you're going to face something that you don't want to face. Something unpleasant, something difficult. Cut corners. You do something in an easy, cheap, and fast way in order to save money, which often means you compromise quality. You drop the ball, means you make a mistake, especially when you fail to meet expectations. Throw in the towel means you either give up or you admit defeat. And turn a blind eye, you intentionally ignore something. All right, so those are the 5. And what I'll do here, we're going to do a fill in the blank sort of quiz next. But I want to put all of the collocations on the screen. Okay, so cut corners, turn a blind eye, bite the bullet. What else do we have here? Drop the ball and throw in the towel. Okay, so those are the 5 idioms on the screen right now. What we'll do next is we'll go through a fill in the blank exercise. And what I've done in this one is if we look at a lot of these, turn a blind eye, throw in the towel, drop the ball, cut corners, a lot of times you will see these collocations in textbooks or study materials. You'll often see them used in business English textbooks or a business English lesson. And it's true, we can use these in business English. But I wanted to show everyone that even band 8 vocabulary words, even band 9, which is the highest, they can be used in everyday conversation. So what I've done with the quiz is the first 5, we're going to be looking at sentences that are covering everyday English conversation. You can see we use these in regular conversation. That's going to be the first 5. And then in the second 5, we'll move to business English. All right, so we can use these collocations in any type of conversation, from regular English conversation to business. So let's look at number 1 first. Let me zoom in here. Okay, so number 1 is saying, after months of trying to fix my old bike, I finally decided to something and buy a new one. What would be the answer for this? And I've put, if anybody joining me a little bit late, we're going over collocations. We're doing a fill in the blank sort of quiz now. All of the collocations, 5 of them are in the red banner at the bottom of your screen. So choose the correct one from that list. So what would we say here? All right, after months of trying to fix my old bike, I finally decided to something and buy a new one. For me, what I would say, number 1, fighters, you got thrown in the towel and then you changed it, turn a blind eye. So here, turn a blind eye. Remember, it means that you're ignoring something that is bad, like a bad action. Not physical bad thing, but it's more of a bad action. So number 1, your first answer, I think is best. After months of trying to fix my old bike, I finally decided to throw in the towel. I was like, I give up. I admit defeat. I cannot fix my bike. I keep trying and trying to fix it, but it keeps breaking. So you know what? That's it. I'm going to buy a new one. I threw in the towel. All right, so you're basically saying I give up or I admit defeat. All right, so what I would put here is throw the towel. All right, so after months of trying to fix my old bike, I finally decided to throw in the towel. Yeah, this is a tough one, Buddy Boys, because I was actually thinking there could have been people answering 3 different ones. I thought maybe turn a blind eye. but we have to usually use that to ignore someone's bad action. But I also thought maybe some people might say bite the bullet. But bite the bullet is more you're facing something that you don't want to do. Of course, you don't want to buy something. You don't want to spend money. But this is a little different. When you bite the bullet to do something, it's not something so small as buying a bicycle. Okay, what about number 2 here? Let's zoom. Let's zoom out. That's too far out. Okay, there we go. You can see most of it there. You don't need to see the number 2. Number 2, though, it says, I knew the dentist appointment would be painful, but I had to something and get it done. I knew the dentist appointment would be painful, but I had to something and get it done. Bodyboard, your answer, bite the bullet. Yeah, you're doing something that's unpleasant. Yeah, going to the dentist, I would say for majority of people, is something that's very unpleasant. But the person faced it, they did it, and they bit the bullet. All right, well, let me put the answer in here. Okay. Let's look at number 3. Okay, I can't fit both, so we're going to have to just go number 3 only here. Number 3 says, we're running late for the picnic, so we something by grabbing fast food instead of preparing sandwiches. All right, so you're running late for the picnic. I like this phrase too. And let's look at that phrase first. Sometimes I'll say this. Sometimes I'll text maybe a friend, and I'll text this sentence: I'm running late. And this one, I would say, this one gives me the most, I guess, pleasure, because a lot of times when I say that, especially living here in Japan where English is not the native language, sometimes I'll text a Japanese person and say, oh, listen, I'm sorry I'm running late. And a lot of times, more times than I can count, I will get a response saying, no, it's okay. Don't run. Take your time. All right. So that's not the meaning. I'm running late equals I am late. Okay. Or I will be late. I will be late, or I am late. All right, so number 3 says we're running late for the picnic, so we something by grabbing fast food instead of preparing sandwiches. So we cut corners by grabbing fast food instead of preparing sandwiches. Yes, you're doing something that make it easier, faster, cheaper, but of course the quality will reduce. Okay, perfect. Good job, Funny Boys. Let's look at number 4. There we go. Get it into the screen. Okay. The referee clearly saw the foul, but chose to something and let the game continue. Yes, I agree, Fighting Words. That's a great comment. If anybody's watching, it'd be better to join and answer some. Yes, I agree. There are people watching. Everybody seems to be shy, though. And your answer is perfect. The referee clearly saw the foul, but chose to turn a blind eye. Turn a blind eye to the game. Chose to turn a blind eye and let the game continue. Sorry. And let the game continue. So turn a blind eye. All right. So we got one more for the everyday conversation. Yeah, don't be shy. I agree. I agree. I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. I see this a lot, though, living here in Japan. But of course, there could be people watching from anywhere right now. So yeah, don't be shy. The best way to improve is by actually, typing, speaking, thinking. But great answer, Fadibors. Turn a blind eye. Number 5. I completely something when I forgot to pick up my friend from the train station. And those are the collocations you have to use. I completely something when I forgot to pick up my friend from the train station. Perfect. Just make sure it's the past tense. So I completely dropped the ball when I forgot to pick up my friend from the train station. Okay, so those were 5 that we use in everyday conversation. We had a variety of different topics, forgetting to pick up a friend, talking sports, here we got a picnic and, having to make food, but we cut corners, dentist appointment, we were biting the bullet, uh, giving up, trying to fix something, throwing the towel. So we can use these collocations in many different types of situations. The next 5, we're going to move to business English. So these can also be used in business. To make it more difficult, I'm going to remove the banner. All right, so number 6. The team was overworked, leading them to something on quality control, which resulted in customer complaints. The team was overworked, leading them to something on quality control. All right, so what would we answer here? Perfect. Just don't forget the S. The team was overworked, leading them to cut corners on quality control, which resulted in customer complaints. Perfect. Okay. Number 7. After several unsuccessful campaigns, the marketing department decided to something and hire an external agency. What can we say here? Tip for today, let's not sacrifice the quality. Yes, I agree. I agree. Never try to sacrifice quality. Don't cut corners. Don't do it just because it's easier. All right, so what would we say here? After several unsuccessful campaigns, the marketing department decided to bite the bullet. Perfect. Bite the bullet and hire an external agency. Good. Supergirl. Hey, there's someone trying to answer. Bite the bullet. Perfect. You know what? This works too. Fighter Boys, throw in the towel. I like it. I'm not against that answer as well. Okay. Throw in the towel, I think, works. In fact, maybe throw in the towel is the better answer. Right? Maybe I think this is the better answer. I do think bite the bullet can also work. Supergirl, you got that one in as well. You know, I think that would work as well. So let's put both of these on the screen. I think probably throw in the towel is the better answer. But I think bite the bullet is also okay. Because sometimes, you know, hiring someone outside of your company is something you don't want to do. Because a lot of, you know, employees might not be happy about that. So I think both would work. I think throw in the towel is maybe 1A. Bite the bullet is 1B. All right, let's move to number 8. Number 8 here, it is saying the manager noticed the decline in sales, but chose to something until the quarterly review. Outsourcing, yes, Fighting Words, you're right. Outsourcing is correct. Outsourcing is correct. So when you're, you know, hiring from external, let's move that back up. An external agency, yeah, you're outsourcing. You're outsourcing there. That's a great word. Let's make a banner about that. It's a great word to know. Outsourcing. Okay. So when you hire someone outside of your company, you're getting resources from outside, so you're outsourcing. Okay, so number 8, the manager noticed the decline in sales, but chose to something until the quarterly review. Until the quarterly review. All right, and Fighting Boys, you've got turn. Oh, you corrected yourself as well. Very good. So let's look here. Turn. I'm gonna put the here because I know you changed it. Turn a blind eye. The manager noticed the decline in sales, but chose to turn a blind eye until the quarterly review. You know, that's kind of smart. Supergirl, yes. Turn a blind eye. Perfect. All right, let's get this banner off of here. Okay, two more. Let's look at number 9. Number 9 says, despite the challenging market conditions, the CEO urged the team to something and pursue the new product launch. Despite the challenging market conditions, the CEO urged the team to something and pursue the new product launch. What do you guys think this means? All right, super. You got bite the bullet, question mark. Yeah, what do you think, Potty Bros? I think this is good. I think that's probably the best answer. The reason why I think this is a good answer is because bite the bullet. Bite the bullet means you're doing something that you don't necessarily want to do. You're doing something unpleasant. The example at the beginning of the lesson was, you bite the bullet and you go to the dentist, right? So here, the reason why I think it's bite the bullet, I think that's the best one, is because the CEO is urging them. Urging them means he's trying or she's trying to convince them, right? If you urge someone to do something, that means they don't want to do it. That's a great vocabulary word to remember there, urge. If you urge someone, it means you're trying to convince them to do something. Maybe they don't want to do it, but you keep pushing them to do it. Swallow the pill. Yes. Yes. Swallow the pill means you have to take your medicine. No matter if you don't want to take it or not, you have to take your medicine. You just got to swallow the pill. I've been hearing that red pill, blue pill this week so much. That reference from the Matrix. Great, Vitabar. Nice. I love that you always add new phrases, collocations, idioms. So yeah, I think that this one here, bite the bullet, is the best answer. So let's look at number 10, the last one we're going to do today. The project manager something when he failed to allocate sufficient resources, causing delays. The project manager something when he failed to allocate sufficient resources, causing delays. Great vocabulary here. This is very business vocabulary. Words like allocate resources. Sufficient means enough. Allocate means you're dividing and you're handing out the resources. But here, the manager didn't do it properly, not enough. So we needed more resources in each division, but the manager didn't give enough. And it caused delays. And Fadibor is perfect. The project manager dropped the ball when he failed to allocate sufficient resources, causing delays. Exactly. A lot, assign, perfect, allocate. Those are even better definitions than mine. Fadibor, in the future, I'm going to have you on as a guest lecturer, a guest teacher on here. We need to do a lesson together. No, you're amazing. Yeah, we should definitely do it. By the way, I'm planning, actually. It's in the works right now. A friend of mine, one of the kids I coach basketball to. His dad and I were thinking of doing. We're going to start a NBA sort of podcast, once a week podcast on YouTube, maybe, if I have time, if he has time. But yeah, I think that's the perfect answer. Dropped the ball. And as Fadibor has mentioned, that's a great vocabulary word, allocate. It's a great verb. Sufficient means enough. Resources. Resources has many meanings. No, not on this channel. Not on this channel. This will be it'll be on a different channel. this channel is strictly for English only. That one will be something separate just for fun. Really, it's maybe once a week, probably with our schedules. It won't even be that, but just to talk about NBA, just talk about what's happening. Maybe a game of the week. We'll choose a game of the week. We'll give our predictions, and then we'll see if we're right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely share it with you guys. I know you're a basketball fan as well, so yeah, definitely. We're in the planning stages. We're really late because the NBA season is going to start, like, I believe in like a week or so, or like maybe a week and a half, and we haven't got organized at all. So we might not make it for the beginning of the season, like day one, but hopefully we can get things organized. Okay, so just to recap, and I believe I made a banner here. There we go. I did make a banner. The 5 English collocations that they're band 8. They're band 8 collocations from the IELTS sort of exam. These are the 5: turn a blind eye, cut corners, bite the bullet, drop the ball, throw in the towel. Just to do a quick little review of these. And I'm going to scroll up slower because I think scrolling up too fast might make people sick. Okay, so we'll go from top to bottom. Bite the bullet. As we said before, it's to do something that's unpleasant. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. Cut corners means you do something in the easiest, cheapest, and most convenient and fastest way, but you're compromising quality, all in the name of money. You want to save money. Drop the ball. You make a mistake. You fail to meet expectations. Throw in the towel. You give up or you admit defeat. And number 5, turn a blind eye. Means you ignore something that is bad, or you ignore something that's wrong, and you're doing it intentionally, on purpose. Okay, these are great collocations. We use them, as you saw from the fill in the blank, we use them in everyday conversation, but we also use them in business English as well. So make sure you give them a shot. Of course, first goal is to understand what they mean. Second goal is to start using them. So, does anybody have any questions? You're very welcome, fighters. Thank you very much as well. I'm always very appreciative of how active and supportive you are. Yeah, I think you even got Supergirl to start commenting, so that's great. So well done. Any questions? If you don't have any questions, then we'll probably call it. Oh, I just hit my Siri button. Siri might start talking. No, Siri.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, Siri began to talk. My computer's got a Siri button on it, and I always accidentally hit it. Okay, so I think that we'll call it a lesson there. Thank you guys all so much. All right, Fighter was nice. We got a lesson request here. Let's put it on the screen. Could you make a lesson about inversion? So inversions with adverbs. All right, will do. I'll definitely do that. So I'll try to have that for next. Are you okay for next Thursday or Thursday, whatever day it is there for you? But same sort of time, same day as today. I'll make up a lesson for that for next week. And there you go. Supergirl's commenting. Thank you, Supergirl, as well. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, I'll get working on that. And in the meantime, everybody who's watching this, thank you for watching. It's always great. Make sure you're being more active as well. That's always great as well. But hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed the lesson. Everybody who's watching this on the replay, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and do all that stuff. You know, hit the notification bell, share this as well. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys all in the next lesson. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much, and see ya. See you, Varibors.